Single dad got fired for being late after helping a pregnant woman. She's CEO who owned the entire company. Let's start. Before we dive into today's heartfelt story, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share this video with your friends. Welcome to Soul of Tale, where every story touches the heart. Now, let's begin. The alarm on Jason's phone blared like a warning siren. He groaned, rubbing sleep from his eyes. Another late morning. Another risk of getting fired. But today, as a single dad juggling a full-time job and raising his 6-year-old daughter, Lily, he knew there were battles bigger than deadlines. He grabbed his worn jacket, kissed Lily on the forehead, and rushed to his old pickup truck. The sky was a dull gray, the kind that promised rain, and the streets were already filling with honking cars. Jason hated being late. Every warning at work lingered in his mind like a shadow. But then halfway through his usual commute, something stopped him cold. On the roadside, by a cracked sidewalk, a young woman struggled to balance herself, her hand on her swollen belly. She was clearly pregnant, and her face was pale, strained, and desperate. Most drivers had passed her by, wrapped up in their own mournings. Jason hesitated for a fraction of a second, and then he slammed on the brakes. "Are you okay?" he asked, hopping out of the truck. The woman's eyes flickered with relief. I think I need help. My car broke down, and I've been trying to walk to the gas station. I'm not feeling well." Jason didn't think twice. He grabbed his jumper cables and helped her back to her car. Her face was etched with pain, and as he supported her to the driver's seat, he saw the expensive designer shoes, the perfectly tailored coat. Something about her aura screamed importance, though he didn't care. What mattered was that she needed him. He stayed until she was stable, making sure her car started, and even offered to drive her to the nearest medical station. She hesitated and then nodded. By the time he let her go, Jason was already late for work. Really late. When he walked into the office 20 minutes past the starting time, the HR manager was waiting, arms crossed. "Jason, this is the 3rd time this month. We're going to have to let you go." He tried to explain, but HR didn't want to hear excuses. He left the building, a knot of guilt tightening in his chest. Not for losing his job, but for letting Lily down. That evening, after a silent car ride home, Jason parked outside his apartment. There was a sleek envelope on his doorstep. Curious, he opened it. Inside was a card and a letter. "Dear Jason," it read, "I don't know if you remember me. Your name doesn't matter. What matters is what you did today. You helped me when no one else would. I am the CEO of the company you work for, and your kindness has not gone unnoticed. I don't want you to worry about being late ever again. Come back tomorrow and we'll sort everything out." Jason's jaw dropped. He looked around, almost expecting the letter to vanish like a dream. The next day, he returned to work, not just reinstated, but offered a promotion for his integrity and empathy. And Lily. She got to see her dad be recognized not for hours on a clock, but for the heart he carried. From that day on, Jason realized something profound. The world notices kindness, even when you think it goes unseen. And sometimes, the simplest act of helping someone in need can change everything. Your life, theirs, and even the lives of those who look up to you. Jason woke the next morning with a strange mix of nerves and hope. Lily was still asleep, her small hand clutching her stuffed bear, oblivious to the storm of adult worries outside her bedroom. Jason brewed coffee and stared at the envelope again. The words of the letter felt unreal. "Come back tomorrow and we'll sort everything out." Could this really happen? Could a single act of kindness, something he did without thinking, actually turn his world upside down? By the time he got to the office, the streets were buzzing with morning energy. The gray sky had cleared to pale sunlight, glinting off wet asphalt from the previous night's drizzle. He parked his truck and walked in, his stomach twisting with anticipation. At the entrance, a young assistant approached him with a smile. "Mr. Jason, Ms. Emily, the woman you helped yesterday, wants to see you." Jason's heart skipped. Emily. He had never caught her full name in his flustered roadside rush. Now he was face to face with her, in the sleek glass-walled executive office that smelled faintly of leather and citrus polish. "Jason," she said, her tone warm but professional, "I wanted to thank you in person. Yesterday, you had no idea who I was, and yet you didn't hesitate to help me. Most people would have ignored me, Worried about being late or just kept driving?
But you stopped.
You helped a stranger. Jason felt his face heat up. I just saw someone in trouble. I couldn't just leave her there. I'm sorry for being late. I lost my job over it. Emily smiled. Well, technically, you were late. But let me make one thing clear. I'm the CEO of this company, and I value integrity, honesty, and compassion above all else. Losing your job over being kind? That simply won't happen here. Fact, she leaned forward slightly. I want to offer you a promotion, not just reinstatement, but a role that reflects the kind of character you demonstrated yesterday. Jason's jaw nearly hit the polished floor. I don't know what to say. Say you'll continue being yourself, Emily said, smiling. That's all I need. Over the next few weeks, life changed in ways Jason never imagined. His work schedule became flexible enough to spend mornings with Lily, and his new role allowed him to mentor younger employees, teaching them the importance of empathy and ethics. At home, he noticed how Lily's eyes sparkled whenever he told her the story of the lady on the roadside, and how helping someone could lead to extraordinary things. One rainy evening, Jason found himself back at the same roadside where he had met Emily. He looked at the empty stretch of road, imagining how different his life would have been if he'd simply driven past. He realized that kindness wasn't about reward or recognition or even timing. It was about choosing to act when it mattered most. And for Jason, that day wasn't just about saving someone in need. It was about discovering that humanity, even in small, unnoticed gestures, could create ripples strong enough to change lives. As he walked back to his truck, Lily's laughter floated in his memory, mingling with the distant hum of the city. He smiled. Sometimes he thought being late isn't failure. It's the start of something extraordinary. Emotional beats added, Jason reflecting on his responsibilities and struggles as a single dad. The roadside scene expanded with cinematic details of his choices and hesitation. The CEO's office scene emphasizes recognition, gratitude, and reversal of fortune. Climax emphasizes the impact of selflessness and ethical courage, uplifting ending with life lessons and a heartwarming connection to Lily.